Hey yo, what's good y'all? It's your boy Swifty. In today's video, I'm about to show you how to make dark guitar samples like PYREX whippa. To start it off, I just opened up the guitar from contact. So then I went into the piano roll. And first you just go to the little arrow up there, you go to helpers, scale highlighting, then I chose the F minor harmonic and not the minor natural because the harmonic is like good for dark and Spanish melodies especially. And then I just made simple triads as you can see, so I didn't start on the root note because I wanted to switch it up a little bit. First I started with the A sharp and then I just built the basic triad as I said. So to do that, you just get the first note, you go up 1, 2, into the scale. So the scale got light shaded notes and dark shaded notes. You want to use the light shaded ones, and then into the light shaded ones to make a triad. Got your first note, which is the A sharp, and then you skip one, then the C sharp, and then I skip one and I got the F. So then as you can see, I just strummed the chords, so I strummed them one step ahead. So instead of having it playing like this, I just went one step ahead. And same for this one, but this time 2 steps, so it's strumming all the notes. Then I just copied that and pasted it until the end of the first bar, and then as you can see at the end, to switch it up, I took the middle note, I put it up to F and deleted the other F that would be hitting right here. It's just to switch it up and add some variation. Then on the second bar, I just copied the same exact pattern that I used with the triads, leaving the middle note out and taking this one a step back. That's the same exact thing, I just pitched it down. So as you can see, if I go up there, it's the same notes. I just went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones. So a semitone is one note and I just went down 5 semitones. And that's a little trick you can do for dark melodies. And then I just copied basically that little pattern over to make it 4 bars. That's what the guitar sounds like. As you can see, it's like kind of fast and doesn't sound super dark, but trust me, I got you. Next, I added a little flute. That's the preset. It's from the IGNOR 6 contact library. So then, using the same notes that I used inside of the chords for the guitar, I just came up with a little pattern. As you can see, that D note is not in the scale, but it's because it's a phrase, it's not like a single note. If I use the D in here...
What do you mean by that?
As you can see, it's a normal note, but if I use this one, it's a phrase. So that's why I used it, even though it's the D note, it's in key. And here I use the D sharp. So here I used a note that's out of key, but it's just a transition note between the F and the C sharp right here, and it's short, and that's like okay to do just for transition notes, but you don't want to make a melody using out of key notes that are like super long or whatever. Alright, so next I just used the piano from Keyscape, so that's the preset right here. For this piano, I just copied the chords that I use for the guitar, as you can see, and then I added some transition notes right here. On the second part, I just added these top notes to add some variation. That's what the piano sounds like. Then I went on and added the little violin from Philharmonic, and that's the preset right here. As you can see, I just used the same note. It's one note. It's the F, which is the root note, and I just used it again, but an octave higher, and lowered the velocity so it doesn't sound way louder than the first one. And that's what it sounds like. So now let's get to the effects. So first, on the guitar rig 5, the preset is called breathing. I just turned off the pro filter. Next, I used RC20 with the preset called trap. It adds the vintage feeling. Next, as always, I put that reverb, then the stereo control, panned it to the right, and finally an EQ to cut the lows. Next, on the flute, I just put the reverb, put the mix and the decay a little bit higher than on the guitar. The stereo control again, just made it a little bit wider. Finally, an EQ to cut the lows and a little bit of the highs. Then on the piano, the same reverb, I just put the mix and the decay higher, especially the mix, so it sounds super ambient. Copied the same RC20 from the guitar. Then I put effect rack with the pen man, and I just put the rate around 0.28 hertz. Put it to go both ways, so it goes from left to right. Then I put the width to like 127, and I turned the smoothing all the way to the soft side. Again, the stereo control, even wider than the flute. And as always, finally an EQ to cut the highs and the lows. And for the violin, same reverb, turn the mix up as well.
Hola.
I put the stereo control all the way up, and finally I just used an EQ to cut the lows and a little bit of the mids. And then finally, the real sauce to make them loops super dark is you use gross beat, go into the presets, momentary, and then go to slow triplet. And that preset basically makes the whole loop in triplets, and also pitches down the whole loop 5 semitones. So then I just put an EQ on the master to cut the lows because it was pitched down, so I didn't want any lows to be in there. And that's what the final loop sounds like. If you like that video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, turn on the post notice, comment, and I'll see you next time, man.